Before you judge Bitcoin, ask yourself one question. Why do people always laugh at the opportunities that could change their entire life? Why do most people ignore the very thing that could free them from financial struggle? Why did they call Bitcoin a scam when it was cheaper than a cup of tea, but now fear it when it's more valuable than gold? And more importantly, are you also making the same mistake right now? Just like millions did in 2011, 2013, 2017, and 2020? Because history doesn't repeat. People repeat the same fears. Let me tell you a story. Not a fiction, not a fantasy, but the truth about Bitcoin's entire life, through the eyes of someone who watched it rise, crash, burn, survive, and rise again. When Bitcoin first appeared in 2009, it wasn't glamorous. There were no viral TikToks, no hype, no influencers talking about it. Just a small group of tech nerds who believed money could exist without permission. Most people ignored it because they didn't understand it. And humans fear what they don't understand. Back then, if you told someone, digital money will one day be worth more than the world's biggest companies, they would laugh at you. Not because the idea was wrong, but because they were too afraid to believe something so new. Why most people ignored Bitcoin, the truth. You know why most people didn't invest in Bitcoin? Not because it was risky, not because it was useless, not because it was complicated. People ignored Bitcoin because, 1, they trusted the old system too much. People thought banks, government money, and traditional finance were unbreakable. They didn't believe inflation could destroy savings. Then they saw currencies collapsing, prices rising, salaries staying the same, banks freezing withdrawals. Only then did they realize the truth. The real risk was believing the old system would always protect them. 2, they believed the noise instead of facts. News channels called Bitcoin a scam, a bubble, a toy for criminals. But the same news channels never reported. Bitcoin is the best performing asset of the last decade. Bitcoin survived more than 400 obituaries. Bitcoin is legal in major countries. Institutions have invested billions. People heard noise and ignored numbers. 3, they thought they were too late. Every single year. In 2012, people said, it's too late. In 2014, it's too late. In 2016, it's too late. In 2018 crash, it's dead. In 2021, it's a bubble. And today, people still fear the same things that never came true. 4, fear of losing money was stronger than fear of losing opportunity. Let me ask you, what scares you more, losing $100 or losing a once-in-a-lifetime chance? Most people choose safety, but safety is an illusion, one that keeps you exactly where you are. The journey of Bitcoin, rise through fire. Bitcoin didn't grow because it was lucky. It grew because every crisis proved it right. Even today, people fear investing in Bitcoin. Fear of volatility, fear of scams, fear of losing, fear of what if it crashes again. But ask yourself, what did fear ever give you? Fear never built wealth. Fear never created success. Fear never opened new opportunities. The truth is simple. People aren't afraid of Bitcoin. They are afraid of responsibility. Because Bitcoin gives you control, no bank to blame, no system to depend on, no excuses. And freedom always comes with fear. The shift, why Bitcoin is trusted now. But now something new is happening. Something big. Something that wasn't there 10 years ago. 1, institutional money is here. Billion-dollar companies are buying Bitcoin. Financial giants are holding it. ETFs are approved. Wall Street is entering. When the smartest money in the world starts buying something, ordinary people eventually follow. 2, Bitcoin is becoming digital gold. People finally understand. Bitcoin is not just a cryptocurrency. It's a store of value, a hedge against inflation, a protection against currency collapse. In a world where your money loses value every year, Bitcoin becomes your shield. 3, new technology plus new adoption. We now have Lightning Network, global payment adoption, crypto ATMs, massive education content, easy apps for investing. The world that feared Bitcoin is now building around it. The real question, what about you? You're watching this video right now for a reason. A small part of you is curious. A small part of you is afraid. A small part of you feels, maybe I should have invested earlier. But here's the truth. You are not early. You are not late. You are exactly where someone needs to be before making the best decision of their life. Bitcoin is not just an investment. It's a revolution still in its early chapters. Imagine being able to say, I understood it when others doubted it. I invested when others were afraid. I believed in the future when the world was confused. That is the mindset of people who change their life. Now the real question is, how do you start investing without fear? How do you avoid mistakes most beginners make? How do you protect your money and still grow wealth through Bitcoin? Because in the next part, I'm going to break down the simple, safe, step-by-step method to start your journey even if you have low income, zero experience, or no financial background. Have you ever wondered why two people see the same opportunity, but only one becomes wealthy? Why does one person say, what if it fails, while the other whispers, what if this changes my life? And the biggest question of all, is fear protecting you, or silently destroying your future? Because today, I'm going to expose the psychological traps that kept millions away from Bitcoin, traps you may also be falling into right now without even realizing. The hidden enemy, your own mind. We like to believe external things stop us. Money, education, timing, markets. But the real enemy is always internal. Doubt, confusion, overthinking, and fear of responsibility. People didn't ignore Bitcoin because it was complicated. They ignored it because they didn't trust themselves. Let me tell you something powerful. Bitcoin didn't require financial geniuses. It only required courage. Courage to learn. Courage to take the first step. Courage to say, I'll control my own money. And that is exactly where most people failed. In their mindset, not in their finances. The psychology of ignoring opportunity. Let's break down why most people remain stuck while opportunities pass right in front of them. 1. If everyone isn't doing it, it must be risky. When Bitcoin was cheap, nobody bought it. People said, it's too new. No one I know is investing. If society isn't following it, I won't. But history is cruel. When everyone finally starts believing in something, the people who took action early are already wealthy. This is the mindset difference. Most people wait for the crowd. Winners move before the crowd. 2. Fear of being wrong is stronger than desire to be right. Most people don't fear losing money. They fear being embarrassed. They fear someone saying, I told you it was risky. I knew it wouldn't work. Because society has trained us to avoid mistakes at all cost. But here's the secret wealthy people discovered early. Mistakes make you smarter. Delayed decisions make you poorer. Everyone who invests in Bitcoin goes through fear. But the people who succeed accept fear and move anyway. 3. And if I don't understand it in 5 minutes, I won't try. This is the biggest trap. Bitcoin isn't complicated, but your brain rejects anything unfamiliar. If you ask someone, why don't you invest? They say, oh bro, I don't understand crypto. But did they try? Did they watch a video? Did they read a single article? No, because the mind is lazy and fear gives it excuses to stay comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of financial growth. 4. The brain protects comfort, not opportunity. Your brain is designed to protect you from danger, not make you rich. Whenever something feels new, uncertain, or different, your brain gives warnings. Maybe later. What if it fails? Better stay safe. But let me tell you the truth. Playing safe is the most dangerous financial strategy in the modern world. Safe money loses value. Safe plans fail slowly. Safe decisions keep people stuck in the same life for decades. Bitcoin challenges your comfort, and that's why people resist it. The mindset of people who missed Bitcoin early. Let me paint a picture of the typical person who missed Bitcoin when it was cheap, waited for someone else to approve, kept saying next month, next year, believed rumors instead of facts, overestimated the risk, underestimated the opportunity, wanted guarantees, wanted profit without discomfort, thought small and emotional, didn't study, assumed they had time. This mindset kept millions trapped. And here's the ironic part. They didn't lose money. They lost time, and which is worse, because time never comes back. But what about you? Where do you stand? Let's be brutally honest. Right now, are you avoiding Bitcoin because it's actually risky, or because fear is whispering negative stories in your mind? Ask yourself, do I lack money, or do I lack courage? Am I confused about Bitcoin, or scared to learn something new? Am I delaying because of logic or because of excuses? Am I afraid of investing or afraid of taking responsibility? You see, Bitcoin doesn't judge you. It doesn't care about your background, job, nationality, or income. It gives everyone the same chance, but not everyone has the mindset to take it. The wealth mindset. How Bitcoin investors think. People who saw Bitcoin early weren't lucky. They simply thought differently. Let me show you how. 1. They ask better questions. Instead of asking, "What if I lose money?" they asked, "What if this is the future of money?" Instead of saying, "I don't understand it," they said, "I'll learn." The quality of your questions decides the quality of your future. 2. They trust math, not emotions. Bitcoin isn't based on feelings. It's based on fixed supply, transparent code, and global demand. Smart investors rely on logic. Average people rely on fear. 3. They see opportunity in uncertainty. When Bitcoin drops, fearful people panic, but strategic people accumulate. This is why the same market makes one person poor and another wealthy. 4. They think long-term, not short-term. Successful Bitcoin investors don't ask, "What will happen this week?" They ask, "What will this be in 5 years?" Fear is short-term. Wealth is long-term. The transformation, shifting your mindset now. Here's how you change your mindset today. Without money, without experience. 1. Accept fear, but don't obey it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's acting despite fear. You don't need to become fearless. You just need to stop letting fear make decisions for you. 2. Learn 10 minutes a day. Watch one video. Read one article. Understand one concept. When knowledge increases, fear decreases. 3. Replace excuses with action. Excuse: I'll invest when I understand everything. Action: I'll start small and learn as I go. Excuse: what if it drops? Action: volatility is normal. I'll invest little by little. Excuse: too late now. Action: long-term investors are always early. 4. Stop thinking like the crowd. The majority is rarely right. If they were, everyone would be rich. Be the person who moves before the crowd, not after it. The truth most people don't want to hear. The biggest barrier between you and Bitcoin is not money. It's not confusion. It's not volatility. The biggest barrier is the story you keep telling yourself. I can't learn this. What if I make a mistake? What will people say? These stories keep people broke, stuck, and regretful. But here's the good news. A story can be changed. A mindset can be rebuilt. A future can be rewritten. And your new journey starts the moment you say, "I choose opportunity over fear." If Bitcoin is so powerful, why don't they teach us how to invest safely? Why does everyone talk about profits, but no one explains the actual steps a normal person can follow? Why do rich people enter quietly, while ordinary people enter late, confused, or during hype? And here's the biggest question. If you had a clear, safe, beginner-friendly plan, would you finally start? Because today I'm going to give you exactly that. A simple roadmap anyone can follow, even with low income. Not hype, not gambling, not luck, just a practical blueprint you can use for the rest of your life. Step 1. Understand the rule. Start small, stay consistent. The biggest mistake beginners make is thinking, "Bro, I need big money to invest." That is completely wrong. Bitcoin was designed for ordinary people. You can start with $5, $10, or $20. The amount doesn't matter. Consistency builds wealth, not size. Millionaires in Bitcoin didn't become rich because they invested once. They became rich because they invested regularly over time. This is called DCA, dollar cost averaging. It means you don't try to time the market. You invest small amounts regularly. You ignore emotions. You let time do the magic. It's the safest way for beginners. Step 2. Choose a trusted platform, not random apps. Most people lose money not because Bitcoin is bad, but because they use untrusted apps. A safe platform should have verified registration, reviews, global trust, security features, withdrawal support. Never send money to someone claiming to invest for you. Never trust WhatsApp or Telegram traders. Never trust anyone asking for your private keys. Step 3. Start with a micro amount. No fear zone. The best part of Bitcoin is this. You don't need to wait. You don't need huge capital. You don't need to time the perfect price. Your first investment should be small, so small that you feel zero fear. What? 5, 10, 10. Why? Because the goal of your first investment is not profit, it's confidence. Once you experience ownership, your fear drops, your understanding increases, and your mindset transforms. That's why wealthy people always start early, not big. Step 4. Build a weekly or monthly routine. Most beginners fail because they invest once then disappear. But wealth isn't built once. It's built repeatedly. Your routine can be weekly $5, monthly $20, or whatever you can afford. Don't focus on speed, focus on discipline. 1 year of consistent small investing beats one-time big investing. Step 5. Never invest based on emotions or hype. Let me tell you something true and harsh. Most people buy Bitcoin only when their emotions tell them to. They buy when price is pumping. Influencers scream, buy now. Friends brag about profits. This is the worst time to invest. Smart investors do the opposite. They buy regularly. They don't care about hype. They ignore the crowd. They follow strategy, not emotions. Remember, your greatest enemy is emotional investing. Step 6. Secure your Bitcoin, most important step. Once you buy Bitcoin, you must protect it. There are 2 types of wallets. 1. Exchange wallets, beginner-friendly. Easy, simple, but not fully under your control. Good for starting. 2. Personal wallets, maximum security. You own your private keys. No one can freeze or take your Bitcoin. Your long-term goal should be to hold your Bitcoin in a secure wallet. This is what smart investors do. Step 7. Don't try to get rich fast. Bitcoin rewards patience, not impatience. People who tried shortcuts, bought during hype, chased pumps, followed influencers, traded without knowledge, took leverage. These people lost money. But long-term holders? They quietly built wealth. Bitcoin is not a fast money scheme. It's a long-term wealth-building tool. Think in years, not weeks. Step 8. Accept the reality. Price drops are opportunities. Beginners fear crashes, but experienced people love them. When Bitcoin drops, beginners panic. It's over. It's crashing. I'm selling. But smart investors say, it's discounted. Let's buy slowly. Great entry point. The mindset difference creates the wealth difference. Crashes are part of the Bitcoin cycle. If you understand this, you will never panic again. Step 9. Follow a simple rule. 80% Bitcoin, 20% learning. Bitcoin is powerful, but knowledge multiplies its power. Spend 80% of your energy investing, 20% learning. Learn how the blockchain works, why supply is limited, why institutions invest, how to secure your wallet, how cycles work. You don't need to become an expert. Step 10. Create your personal Bitcoin vision. This is the most underrated step. Ask yourself, why am I investing in Bitcoin? Is it because you want financial freedom? You want protection from inflation? You want to create long-term wealth? You want a better life for your family? You want independence from banks? Your vision gives you direction. Direction gives you discipline. Discipline builds wealth. Without vision, people quit easily. With vision, they stay consistent. Step 11. Avoid these costly beginner mistakes. A mistake, investing everything at once. Always invest slowly and consistently. A mistake, taking advice from friends. Most people know nothing but speak confidently. Mistake, trading without experience. Trading destroys beginners. Investing saves beginners. A mistake, chasing cheap coins. Cheap does not mean profitable. Board mistake, expecting fast results. Real wealth takes time. The low capital blueprint, best for beginners. Here's a simple plan anyone can follow. Weekly, 5-10 in Bitcoin, consistent. Monthly, move it to a secure wallet. Review your progress. Learn one new concept. Yearly, calculate total invested. Calculate total growth. Increase investment if possible. This plan is slow, safe, powerful, and realistic. You don't need luck. You don't need high income. You only need discipline. Now that you know how to invest, the next big question is, what will Bitcoin become in the next 5-10 years? And why is right now one of the last windows of opportunity? Let me ask you the most important question of this entire journey. If you don't take action now, then when? When inflation destroys more savings, when salaries fall behind the cost of living, when banks start freezing withdrawals again, when institutions buy so much Bitcoin that normal people can no longer afford it, opportunities don't disappear. They move from the hands of the fearful into the hands of the brave. And now that you've reached the end of this series, I want you to understand one truth. Your life doesn't change when you learn. Your life changes when you decide. The future belongs to those who prepare today. Imagine the world in the next 5-10 years. Salaries can't keep up with inflation. People lose trust in their local currency. Banks limit withdrawals during crises. Technology replaces cash. Digital money becomes normal. Bitcoin becomes the global asset everyone wants. In that world, who do you think will be safe? Who will protect their family? Who will have options, freedom, and stability? Not the person who waited. Not the person who hesitated. Not the person who let fear win. But the person who took small, consistent steps, long before the crowd understood. And that person can be you. The power of starting small. You don't need huge money. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need full understanding. You need only this. Start small. Stay consistent. Think long-term. Invest $10, invest whatever you can, but invest regularly, because consistency beats timing, patience beats emotion, long-term beats short-term, discipline beats luck. If you follow this simple formula, your future self will thank you. The real fear you should have. Most people fear losing money, but the real fear should be this. What if Bitcoin truly becomes the global standard, and you didn't take the chance to own even a small part of it? What if everyone else builds wealth, while you stay stuck because fear convinced you to wait? You are not fighting Bitcoin. You are fighting your own hesitation. And hesitation destroys more dreams than failure ever will. Imagine your future self. Imagine the day you say, I started small when everyone doubted. I stayed consistent when prices moved up and down. I held strong when fear tried to distract me. I believed in myself when nothing felt certain. Imagine your kids or younger siblings saying, you made the smartest financial decision for our family. Imagine never worrying about bank limits, currency collapse, inflation, financial emergencies, government restrictions. Imagine having something that grows quietly, powerfully, and independently of the system. This isn't fantasy. It's the future hundreds of thousands of people have already created with Bitcoin, and now, it can be yours. The final message, your one decision. The greatest opportunities in history were always ignored at first. But those who believed early, those who acted with courage, those who stayed consistent, became the leaders of the next era. Right now, you're standing at the same kind of moment, and the world is watching. Will you choose fear, or will you choose your future? Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin doesn't just change your money. It changes your mindset, your stability, your options, your confidence, and your entire life. The next move is yours. If this message opened your eyes, if you felt even a spark of change inside you, then don't ignore it. Start your journey. Start small. Start now.